The legends won't be here forever. Time is the ultimate equalizer. No matter how good you are, Father Time will eventually catch up to you. The great Muhammad Ali said it best, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." Yes. But sometimes even that isn't enough. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will run down some names that may sound familiar to you now, but soon they will become household names. So let's start off by taking a look at some of the top prospects in the sport of boxing. Next, we will go over some of the top prospects over at the UFC. Let's start in boxing. Some of these guys you may know already, but the names at the bottom, make sure you remember them because they could be huge. At 23 years old, the undefeated lightweight from Las Vegas has established himself as one of the most exciting fighters in world boxing with an explosive knockout ratio. In fact, 24 of his 25 wins have come by way of knockout. Ryan is coming off a big win against former super featherweight world title challenger Joseph Diaz. Jr., he's been labeled as a future superstar in the making by many media outlets. Ryan was recently seen at the Canelo Alvarez vs. Gennady Golovkin fight, which tells me he's looking to learn and soak up all the knowledge he can from the best. It doesn't stop there for this young fighter though. As I mentioned before, he's only 23. And if you think about it, there are so many big fights out there for him to make. When it comes to his power, I see a lot of Floyd Mayweather in his prime in Garcia's hands. If Garcia can continue to add tools to his arsenal, I think he will become a superstar very soon. Who else wants to see Ryan Garcia take on Gervonta Davis in the near future? Let me know in the comments below. Gervonta Davis is someone that you should definitely keep an eye on. Many people believe he is the next Floyd Mayweather. You can see why when you watch him fight. Like Ryan, he is also only 23 years old. He turned pro at the age of 19 and currently holds a record of 27 wins and 0 losses with 24 knockouts. His last fight was a 7th-round TKO victory over veteran fighter Rolando Romero. That was a really impressive performance by Tank. This guy has so much power behind both of his hands. It's scary. If he can stay out of trouble outside the ring and continue to add tools to his skill set, he will become a superstar in no time. One thing I do see lacking with Tank is his gas tank. I think it goes a little too low for a guy with his caliber of power. Next up is Xander Americanus. At just 22 years old, he stands 6 feet 8 inches and 205 pounds. He also has an impressive record of 17 wins and 0 losses. 13 of those wins by knockout. A lot of people get mad when they see a tall, lanky fighter like Xander, but they shouldn't, because this guy can flat out brawl. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty and walk forward. One of the things I love to see from any fighter, whether they're 5 feet 6 or 6 feet 8, is heart. And Xander has plenty of it. The heavyweight division needs new life, and I think Xander could be a breath of fresh air. Now, Xander's last name might be hard for some people to pronounce, but trust me, it won't be hard to remember it once he starts blowing up the heavyweight division. Okay, so at this point, you've probably heard of Shocker Stevenson. He's one of those fighters that seemingly came out of nowhere. But he's actually only 25 years old and has been a pro since he was 18. Shocker is coming off a 10th-round unanimous decision victory over former unified featherweight world champion Oscar Valdez. What's impressive about that is Shocker actually fought at super featherweight, full 2 weight classes above his natural weight. Even still, Shocker dominated the fight and proved he belongs at the highest level of boxing. Shocker's size, speed, and power will be a problem for anyone in his weight class. But it seems like he's always looking to move up in weight, which means he could end up being a pound-for-pound great one day. He's a southpaw, which makes him even more dangerous. And he's got the type of personality that fans can't help but gravitate towards. Shocker has all the tools to be a superstar, but it's up to him to put in the work. I'm telling you right now, though, that he's worth keeping an eye on. This young man has been fighting professionally since he was 17, and now at 23 years old, he is 15-0. Israel is coming off an impressive 10th round. Technical knockout victory over former world title challenger Jason Sosa. What impresses me about Israel is his timing. This dude has fast hands and feet. He's able to control the distance with ease. His jab is straight and accurate, and his combinations are flowing beautifully. Israel isn't just a boxer, though. He can flat out brawl if he needs to. I'm excited to see what the future holds for this one. Let's head over to the UFC now. Here are some of the best prospects the UFC has to offer. If you follow the sport of MMA, then chances are you already know who Umar is. Still, I had to include him on this list. Why? Well, because I think he's on his way to superstardom, after defeating Brian Ortega via knockout in the first round in March. Umar called out Max Holloway and told the world he wanted to fight the best. To no surprise, Dana White accepted his challenge. The two will face each other on December. We'll see if Umar can continue his rise to greatness. Either way, the future is bright for the 22-year-old powerhouse. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why did you include Belal Muhammad on this list? Well, to you I say you clearly haven't been paying attention. Bella was undefeated at 11-0. His last fight was an amazing display of grit and determination. Fortunately, he lost the fight due to an illegal knee. But if you watched that fight, you saw someone who was willing to fight through anything to get the job done. It was a tough loss for Muhammad to swallow, but it wasn't because of a lack of effort on his part. The coaches in the UFC have noticed his effort and willingness to learn. He's constantly improving, and it won't be long before he gets his opportunity to shine. Another guy that deserves to be on this list is Bill Alge. He's coming off a second-round knockout victory over surging lightweight contender Drew Dober. With this win, Bill moves to 14-3 overall and 6-1 inside the UFC. I really like Bill's potential. He has a well-rounded game and is very technical. If he can continue to develop and mature as a fighter, he could find himself fighting for a championship sooner than later. Here's someone that you might not be familiar with yet, but I promise you, you'll be hearing this name a lot in the near future. Sean O'Malley is coming off a huge victory over former bantamweight champion and one of the greatest of all time, Petr Yan. Sean looked like a man possessed. He was walking forward, throwing heavy hands like a madman. Not only that, but he was stuffing takedowns and hitting Yan with counterstrikes every time he came forward. After the fight, Dana White said, "That was a hell of a performance by Sean O'Malley. That kid is a star." I think that was the biggest upset in the history of the UFC. The sky is the limit for this kid. It's obvious by now that the UFC is pushing Islam Makhachev hard. With his last victory over Charles Oliveira, Islam became the UFC lightweight champion. There's no denying his skills, but something I've noticed about him is his personality. It reminds me a lot of that of Conor McGregor. Both are extremely confident and outspoken. They both have a legion of fans that will buy any fight they are a part of. Whether you like Islam's personality or not, the UFC is going to push him because he's a winner. I feel like it's only a matter of time until he starts calling out other champions. It'll be fun to see where this goes. So who do you think is the future of combat sports? Who do you think will be the next superstar? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.